Hello and welcome back after the long commercial break. Now, as you were gone, our staff has set up the screen which shows you the tables from our previous champions. So we'll now get started and explain it. And we'll both take turns explaining each World Cup. First up, Bob Jerry. You see, this is the Playmo World Cup of 1978. We had in Group A, if you're wondering, because it's hard to see in the screen. It's a bit, the light is blocking it. But Argentina, France, Italy, and Hungary were in that group. In the end of the group, after a dominant 10, Argentina came out the victorious first place in their group. France came second. Italy did not move on, and Hungary did not move on in last place. Then we went over to our next group where West Germany moved on dominantly. Mexico moved on with a good finish of 3 points. Tunisia. One second, we're experiencing some technical difficulties right now. West Germany came out on top of their group dominantly, then Mexico, then Tunisia sadly went out with 2 points, and so did Poland, and then off their group. Brazil came out dominantly with 4 points, as did Austria with 4 points. Sadly, by 1 point, Spain in a close competition to see if they could go on, sadly barely did not move on in that one. And to end off, Sweden just didn't do well. They did terrible to us. I think they might have come last in it, or second last anyway. Scotland came out top in their group, surprising a lot of people. Peru and Netherlands both got 3 points, but by having overall, Peru did better in the group, so that happened. And Iran did decent with 2 points, which depending on the group you're looking at is quite good, but fortunately in that group it wasn't good enough. And again, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Anyway, let's move on to the next round. Brazil came out top of their league, meaning that they would go on to the final. Argentina came second, which means that they would go on to the round of third place to see if they could take third. Even way they got 4 points, Brazil did better, so they are going to the final. Mexico came close, but with 3 points. Take anything, and Peru only got 1, so they didn't do that good. Austria dominantly got 5 points to put them also to the final. France got 4, so they would go on to the third place playoff. West Germany sadly only got 3 points, so they were out and they were done. And Scotland did terrible with 0 points, taking 8th place in that World Cup. But let's move on to third place in the final. The third place match, Argentina 0 in extra time. It was very close. France scored a goal, but it was considered offside, so 0-0. But in penalties, 4-2, France took it from Argentina and took the bronze for the first ever Playmo World Cup. And as the dominant team they were, a 4-0 win, Brazil won the first ever Playmo World Cup, and by 4-0. This was different than the men's World Cup of 1978 because Argentina won that one, not Brazil. So Brazil were the first ever Playmo World Cup champions. The 1982 World Cup was a very interesting World Cup. Wait a minute, that doesn't say 1982. That says 1990 Italy. That's the wrong World Cup. 1 second. Yes, we're just fixing it. It's been a bit glitchy today. And there it is, the 1982 World Cup in Spain, or Spain, whichever one. Poland came out top of their group with 6 points. Cameroon came second with 2. Italy and Peru also got 2 points, but Cameroon did better. So Poland and Cameroon went on. Algeria, after a dominant group, went on with 5 points. West Germany with 4 went on to move on. West Germany did. Austria, after a good World Cup beforehand, did not do well with only getting 3 points. And Chile got 0, so they were done. Hungary got 4 points, moving on. Argentina got 3 to move on as well. And now more technical difficulties. This is just It's been so glitchy today. But now here it is. It's working again. Hungary and Argentina with 3 points to Argentina and 3 points to El Salvador. But Argentina did better in their matches, so Argentina went on and El Salvador went out. Belgium only got 2, so they didn't really do one. England moved on with 5 points. France moved on with 4. Czechoslovakia sadly got 3, so they wouldn't move on. And Kuwait did terrible and got 0 points. Spain, the host nation, did good, or Espan, whichever one you go by, got 4 points, and so did Northern Ireland, moving on for Northern Ireland's first time, and they're moving on. Yugoslavia sadly only got 3 points, and Honduras only got 1. Brazil moved on with dominant 4 points. So did Soviet Union with 4 points. Scotland sadly was out with 2 points, and so was New Zealand out for 2 points. So let's move on to the next round. In Group A, Poland, Hungary, and Soviet Union. Soviet Union sadly got 1 point. Hungary got 2, and Poland got 3 to make Poland move on. Northern Ireland got 2. Algeria got 2. England got 2. So England moved on. Even way every single one got 2. England did the best overall, and that's why England moved on. Argentina got 3 points. Brazil got 3 points. Cameroon sadly got 0 points. But Argentina did better with their 3 points. So that's what they went on instead of Brazil, knocking out the first ever champions. Who will be your second ever champions? Let's find out. West Germany moved on with 3 points. France, sadly, only with 2, would not move on. Spain with only 1. West Germany moved on. In the semi-finals, Argentina with 1 goal in extra time beats Poland, and that would end it. And at the 115th minute, you saw that great goal, and that goal is still iconic for everyone in Argentina. England scored the first goal in 12 minutes and just constantly defended for the rest of that match to take that win. So the final would be of 1982 would be Argentina versus England. Who would win? The third place playoff was 1 goal to West Germany, 0 goals to Poland. West Germany took it, and 4 goals to Argentina, with 1 of them in extra time, and 4 goals to England, 1 of them in extra time. It went all the way to the penalties, but 4 penalties to England and 5 penalties to Argentina by 1 penalty. 1 penalty decided it all. Argentina took the 1982 Playmo World Cup. Some say the most closest a Playmo World Cup has ever been. But anyway, let's move on to 1986 Playmo World Cup. In the 1986 Playmo World Cup in Mexico, sorry. Why did I say Italy? I don't know why. Italy moved on with 4 points in their group. So did South Korea with also 4 points. Sadly, Bulgaria with 2 points is out. And Argentina, the champions, were out with 2 points, meaning that they had a big champion's bad luck back then. Paraguay moved on with 4 points. So did Belgium with 3. And so did Mexico with also 3. But Iraq, being the only team not to make it in that group, with 2 points, sadly did not move on. France with 5 points moved on with... Sorry, we are having more technical difficulties because we keep having technical difficulties. And it's been very, very interesting, these technical difficulties. We are sorry about this, and we're trying to fix it as we speak. Okay, I think it's back on now. Okay, it's working again. Okay. France moved on with 5 points. Soviet Union moved on with 4 points. Canada moved on with 3 points. And Hungary didn't move on because they didn't even get a single point in that World Cup. Really terrible one for them. Brazil moved on with 5 points. Northern Ireland moved on again with 4 points, doing it doing quite well this time. Uruguay moved on with 5 points. Denmark moved on with 4 points. Then Denmark did very good in that one to move on. Scotland moved on with 3 points, and West Germany, a very good team at this, did not even move on. Morocco moved on with 4 points. Poland moved on with 4 points. England moved on for 4 points, and Portugal got 0. Same as West Germany and Hungary. Really, some of those teams, they just didn't. It really wasn't their World Cup for a lot of them. But let's move on to the next round. Round of 16. 1 point to France. 1 point to 1 goal to Mexico by penalties. 3-2. France moves on. Goal to Uruguay in the 56th minute. Give them that match. In the 89th minute, a goal by one of Belgium's stars took out Poland and was a cruel match. 1-1. It was interesting going into that match. Italy versus Scotland was 0-0, and then extra time became 1-1, which was very good with goal in the 95th minute and then a goal in the 97th minute by Scotland to say, hey, Italy, we could do it. But in the end, just by constant mincing, they missed nearly every shot, both teams. But finally, Italy went in, Scotland missed, and the match was over. Italy had won. A dominant match for Soviet Union. It was always going to be them, and now it's glitching again. We're just going to look at Pele every time now. Just look at Pele whenever it messes up. Maybe it's because it's a new stage. That's maybe why it's messing up. But anyway, Brazil versus England was a good match. 45th minute in, red card